And welcome back, survivalists. This is Werewolfen, and I am on 7 Days to Die, Game of Homes Server 3, and this is day 5 of our Let's Play. Yesterday, we started building the bases for our above-ground base. As you can see, we've got I've done some off-camera work and got the basics to our wall done, as well as the foundation for our house. Sorted out a little bit of problem with the keystones. They were acting a little weird and trying to conflict with our neighbors' keystones, even though we're well outside the conflict range. So don't know what was going on there. Currently keystones still tend to be a little buggy sometimes, but once we made friends with actually added Black Wolf to our friends list, we were able to put I was able to put the keystone in the corner over here. But today we're gonna do I've been talking about it for a while, about getting us a garden set up so that we can have our a permanent source of food. So we're gonna start working on that today. We're gonna build it back here by the back wall. We're gonna have corn, potatoes, and blueberries. So one of the first things we're going to need is we're going to need a hoe. And the hoe is made like such. You're also going to need a bucket so that we can put water in our garden, because plants need to have water around them. Mainly the corn and potatoes. Blueberries aren't as picky about that. The other thing any garden needs is it needs direct access to the sunlight. Whether you build your garden above ground or below ground, you have to make sure that sunlight gets to it at least to within 4 blocks of each plant. So if we were to put a plant right here, we would have to have access to sun within 4 blocks of that. So if you're going to build a below ground garden, you'll have to dig a shaft down from the surface, and then you can plant in 4 blocks all the way around that spot. Same thing with the water. Potatoes and carrots need to have water within 4 blocks of it. I'm also going to make a shovel. And the shovel is made like so. So, as you can see, we've got these access points going into our towers, so I'm going to give us a little bit of room and start our garden right about here. Now, the method I like to use is I like to do water and then go 2 blocks and then do another water trough. This allows more than plenty of hydration. And one of the things I do is I set up these troughs once I get them filled with water, and I put planks over the top of it so you can walk down between the plants and have easy access to all the rows of your garden without having to walk on them, because once the plants are grown, if you walk on them, it will destroy the plant. And to make sure that we support our our planks because they don't have a very good mass index. What I do is I put my water spots every other one. And of all the tools, the hoe is the most proficient at getting rid of grass. Okay, that gives us a nice little bit to get started. I'm going to do one other thing because I don't want to run all over the place to get water. So I'm going to make us an infinite water source here in our inside our base. Okay, that gives us a nice little bit to get started. I'm going to do one other thing because I don't want to run all over the place to get water. So I'm going to make us an infinite water source here. So what we did was we dug a 2x3 one deep hole, and we're going to go get a bucket of water. Which we can do out here in our river. Kill this stupid zombie. Yes, I love the Magnum. Most zombies, other than the winter zombies, are a one-shot kill. That and the fat zombies and the police zombies, you have to shoot them in the head for a one-shot. Now, we just take our bucket of water, put it on the wall so that it flows down and into our little well there. Sometimes it takes a minute. Grass sometimes can be a pain to hit since the terrain smoothing has been added. But as you can see, now we have a water source, and anytime we fill our bucket up, it'll automatically refill those spots. Nope. Yeah, got to be a little careful about that sometimes. It doesn't actually put it where you want it to. Grass gets in the way, stuff like that. But we'll get all our water put in. Like I said, the water flowing down is a little slow sometimes, so we gotta wait for it. We're going to need some wood planks, so I'll get those crafting while we're filling up the water. Hopefully in the near future, the Fun Pimps will put a little more work into their water coating and make it flow a little bit better. So, now that we've got all our water wells filled up, we'll take our hoe and hoe the area. And do this just by right-clicking the ground. And that's some of that goldenrod tea we made the other day. One of your best things for curing thirst. And as you notice, as it considers the ground to be hydrated, it will get these round spots on it, which will help you to figure out where you've missed during your hoeing evolution. Because any spots that you missed when hoeing, when you place the plant there, it'll pop back off the ground. Okay, looks like we've got this fairly hoed. Don't walk on the ground once you've hoed it. It'll mess up the hoe or the tilled soil, and then you'll have to go back and hoe it again. Which is why we're going to be making these wood frames to go over it. Where are they at? The plywood will work. And we'll let some of that craft up. And rotate this around. Make sure when you place these you don't actually place them in the bottom of your water hole, as it'll get rid of the water and then you'll have to go get a new bucket of water. And I put up a little barrier around it to help keep us from accidentally walking on our garden and breaking our plants. And there we go. We've got our basic garden plot set up. So next we're going to need seeds. So we've got us some corn, which we got from Black Wolf and Ding Ding Dong, who live across the river. And you place your ears of corn in the middle and you get corn seed. You get basically 4 seed per plant or per ear. Same thing with the potatoes. You'll get 4 potato seeds from each potato. The blueberries, unfortunately, if you find the blueberry bush, it's just a single bush, but typically you'll get 3 blueberries from each blueberry bush. Okay, and we'll have to let those grow so that we can get some more. Going to do the same thing with the potatoes. Cook those into potato seeds. And as you can see, the blueberries only give 1 seed per, but you get 3 blueberries per full-size bush. If we watch that one, it's probably going to pop back off. But when the bush pops off, you can pick it up. So if any of your bushes pop off the ground, like that one did, you just re-hoe that spot. And put down another plant. And as you can see, we picked up the potato sprout, which we can place back down. And that's the start of our garden. Once these grow up, we'll spread out to where we have more. I'd like to have 2 complete rows of, or 3 rows of corn and 1 row of potatoes, and then we'll have blueberries growing down the sides, just so we have a good variety of food that we can eat. Also, the reason why we're going to go with 3 of the double wide rows of corn is we can use the corn to make various other things, one of which being gas can production, and we'll get into that a little bit later in this series. but okay, it looks like I was pushing the wrong button. In case I did that wrong. No, this is actually multiplayer. We're on the Game of Homes server. This is server 3. There's 3 PvE servers and a PvP server here on Game of Homes. They're brought to us by Jarl Gray, who is the owner of the servers. I'm one of his head admins here on Game of Homes. And if you have any other questions about the game or about the Game of Homes servers, please ask. So now we're gonna, while we let our plants grow over there, we're gonna do some more work on our exterior wall before we get started on building the castle inside. Earlier when I first logged on, we had a horde come through and kind of get wedged up in this corner. Gonna need to put some ladders over here so we can get up onto our wall. So we'll make those up. And for those of you who don't know, on your crafting grid, which is opened with the I key, on the right hand side of it you've got this list of categories. You can click on anything in these categories and it'll show you what's needed to make it. That's a fairly recent addition to 7 Days to Die, and although they're Fun Pimps categories sometimes seem a little random, it is a lot better and more up to date being able to click in game to see what you need to make what versus trying to hunt it on a wiki that may be out of date. And anything that you haven't made in game yet will be white as long as you have the materials to make it. Once you've made it once, it'll turn green, at which point you can just click on the name and it'll make to up the number of how many you want to make. You can also hold shift and left click and it will make all that you have the materials to make. So if I had the materials in my inventory to make 100, if I have shift and left click on it, it would make 100 of them. For those of you just joining me on my live stream, so far today we've set up our basic farm, which is getting growing. Once that grows up a little bit, we'll harvest that and spread it out some more. And we are continuing to work on the castle that we were building from yesterday. For those of you that don't know, and you wonder why I put my gas on my belt, there is currently a glitch in the multiplayer version of the game where when using an auger, if you have gas in your backpack, when the auger refills, anybody who has gas in their backpack in the multiplayer game, and every time somebody refills a auger, it will actually try to take gas from every single inventory in the game. This only happens when it's in your backpack, so if you're using an auger, keep your gas on your belt, and when you don't need to, put it in a chest if you don't want to carry it around. But definitely keep it on your tool belt when you're working, so that your gas doesn't get consumed by other players. I don't like that. I'm just realizing that the front works out because I have the doorway. I'm gonna have to do something in the middle on this to make this turn out more the way I want it to look. And for my live stream viewers, if you have any questions about the Game of Home servers or 7 Days to Die, please feel free to ask. If you're logged on as a guest, please log into Twitch so that you can ask questions and or follow my stream if you like it. I know this is my center line because of the way I placed out my claim blocks. In case you're wondering what this is, the blocks I'm using, this is called Concrete Trim 2, and the Concrete Trim 2 ramps. These games by default are non-craftable, but here on the Game of Home server, our head admin has added a lot of custom recipes to the game and made these concrete trims blocks craftable. And as you can see, that lovely little zombie there gave me the plague, but because we know how to make antibiotics, the plague is easily cured. And finally got some deer. For those of you who don't know, and you're always wondering, well, where are all the deer? The deer usually only spawn in the grass areas of the map. And like most things, they spawn based on region. The game is broken up into quite a few different region files, and if you're not, and the game only loads the region files that it needs to, depending on where players are at. So if you're wandering around the map, it's constantly loading the region you're in, and you have to be in a region a while before zombies and animals will spawn in it. So if you're constantly running around the map looking for animals, you'll have a harder time finding them than if you get into one green region and just stay there for a while. And like you've seen there, I was having a hard time getting to be able to access the stag. Just break the grass around him, and then you can get to him. Now, I strongly discourage running around too much with raw meat on your belt. As you can see on the mini-map, I'm getting those a spider web of lines around me. That's your smell distance. Anything meat-based, food-wise, or raw meat has a smell factor. Meat sends zombies crazy, and if a zombie is inside that smell radius, no matter how deep into the ground you are, they can smell you, and then they will do everything in their power to try to dig their way down to you, or beat through the walls of your house if you live above ground. So even though rabbit stew and especially venison stew are some of the best foods in the game, I do not recommend carrying them around with you in game. Keep them in a chest at home, and as you need them, eat them, and then put them back in the chest. Otherwise, any zombie in your immediate area will commence to tearing down your house or digging up the ground around you, trying to get to you and that delicious smelling raw meat. And this pretty much applies to any kind of food that has a smell factor. And the best thing you do to find out is just mouse over it. If it has a smell factor, it'll say in the description what its smell range is. But the biggest clue that you know you've got something that has a smell to it on you is you'll get the smell lines around you on your mini-map. And as you can see, now that I've got the meat out of my inventory, I no longer have those smell rings. So we've got some of our plants have grown. This is almost a full-grown corn stalk here. It can actually, I think, grow one more little bit up here at the top. But we're going to harvest it. As you can see, that top piece hadn't grown, so when we picked the one below it, it dropped it, which is actually helpful because we can turn around and replant that. And that'll grow into a new corn stalk. As you can see, because this ground wasn't tilled right, the corn popped back off, but we were able to pick it up. And it's here in our inventory, and we can replant it once we've properly tilled the ground. Don't think we need 40 potato seedlings. Once we get this fully done, we'll have 3 rows of corn, 1 row of potatoes, and then 2 half rows of blueberries around the outside. So we'll have a pretty good bit of food to start with. Battlestone, what you've got to do now is you've actually they've changed it on the last patch. When you go, make sure that you have the cheats enabled on your creative server, and then hit the tilde key, which is that little wavy one up in the left-hand corner. It'll bring up the console. Type in DM, and then you should be able to fly after that. And then usually I put a chest somewhere near my garden to keep all my extra seeds and whatnot. And we'll continue to let that grow. So, pretty much in today's game we have got our garden started. We've got more of our wall done up. Tomorrow we will start working on building the keep inside our castle. Last thing I'm going to do before I call it a day is I'm going to put a door on here to help keep people out of our garden. And to make your basic door, you need forged metal. It takes 8 forged metal. We're making 12 actually, so that we can upgrade our door. And each upgrade of the door takes 2 forged metal, so now we have a nice door on the front of our castle. That'll help keep unwanted guests from getting in, as well as the keystones that surround the wall, keeps them from placing blocks on the outside and coming over our wall. And that is day 5 of our Let's Play. Thanks for joining me, those of you on my live stream. I was glad to have you with me. And we will be back probably again tomorrow with day 6. So, for all those of you out there surviving the 7 days to die, keep surviving, and I will talk to you later.